Business Report is next. In our first business story, Pioneer long-distance bus Intercity STC is confident threats of an intended auction of its assets will not come off. Some assets of the company are up for sale by the Prudential Bank for failing to pay off loans it took to revamp its fleet of buses in 2005.
STC says it is in talks with the bank as well as government officials and SNET, which has shares in both companies, to renegotiate the terms of payment. Intercity STC's communication manager Cyrus de Graaf Johnson says the posting of auction notices on the company's premises is only a matter of procedure. He said the auction will actually not take place. It is just a normal procedure that they are following through based on the fact that they have secured court judgment. The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNET, which holds majority shares of 80% in STC, has confirmed the discussions. Corporate Affairs Manager of SNET, Eva Amegashi, told Joy News it will do its best to avert the auction. Meanwhile, government is awaiting advice from the Divestiture Implementation Committee on how to sell Intercity STC to a strategic investor. The one-time leader in the coach transport business is losing out as a result of stiff competition and lack of capital. Its properties at the head office risk being sold to offset some 7 million Ghana cedi debt owed Prudential Bank. But Transport Minister Alhaji Collins Dauda tells Joy Business he is optimistic selling STC to strategic investor could turn around its fortunes. Alhaji Dauda adds that government is currently engaging other institutions STC is indebted to address their concerns. Joy Business has gathered that about 16 firms have applied to take over STC. Sources say the company is now worth about 51 million Ghana cedis. Government currently has about 20% interest in STC. SNET took the controlling interest in STC in 2002 after a 2-year management contract by Vanef Consortium was terminated.
Now, the Energy Commission says it has put checks in place to maintain confidence in the purchase of energy-efficient refrigerators. Public Relations Officer Victor Owusu made this known on the sidelines of the launch of the pilot efficient refrigerator rebate scheme in Ghana.
In order to curb the imitation of energy-efficient logo on untested freezers, the Energy Commission will send monitoring teams to check on retailers. Public Relations Officer of the Energy Commission, Victor Owusu, assured that after December 31 deadline, only tested fridges will be allowed into the country.
We have an inspectorate division in this commission here, and from time to time, the inspectorate division visits shops to take samples of the products and then send them to Ghana Standards Authority to test them. That is in the meanwhile. That's what we are doing. But in the medium term, by the end of this year, I wouldn't even say medium term, by the close of this year, we will have a test facility that will be installed at the Ghana Standards Authority so that we can then vouch for scientifically for the prescriptions as contained in the Ghana Standards Authority's Ghana Standards. The check is that if the stickers are not there, it will not be allowed to be taken delivery. The new fridges that are already in there, you have to subject them to test by the Standard Authority. Ghana Standard Authority, you have to subject them to test. You go to Ghana Standard Authority, you give them your test report, and then they will test. If it's according to the specifications, it's okay, then you'll be given the go-ahead. The law is clear about that. There are prescriptions for punishment. If you divide or if you contravene, you pay some 120 penalty units or 2 years imprisonment or both.
Chief Director at the Energy Ministry, Professor Thomas Akabza, at the launch of the Pilot Rebate and Exchange Program, said though there is initial funding, it is important that donors come on board to support the program.
The purpose of this exercise is to combat climate change and global warming, to protect the environment. And the environment is our mother. And just like anybody's mother, you go at all costs to maintain your mother healthy, isn't it? On that principle, the ministry and the parties involved are committed to ensuring that this project, despite whatever cost it is, it will go through. But having to talk of the reality of the cost, our development partners are committed and they have contributed.
Meanwhile, chairman of the Ghana Association of Importers and Sellers of Used Fridges, George Asumedu, has expressed worry that the move by the Energy Commission will throw them out of business.
Asumedu expressed mixed feeling about the exchange program and asked government to assign bulk retailing of the exchange to the association instead of foreign-owned companies.
Today you witness Homovision, Beko, they are all foreign companies. But the indigenous people who vote in this country, who pay taxes, people who look after their grannies in the villages, we are going to be thrown away from out of business. No. Why foreign ones? Why foreign ones? The rebate system, we got to be operating the rebate system. But because as yet, we haven't got the new fridges in as an association. How many Beko branches are in this country? They cannot even sustain the country. See how many used fridges are sold in the country a day. When it takes off, every high street must have a shop filled with new fridges so that they can undertake the rebate system. And we have to do that. But we don't have the new fridges in now to take part of the rebate system.
He also called on government to establish an assembly plant to create jobs.
Nothing is on the table as I'm speaking today. And what baffles me a lot is we hear governments talking of industrialization of this country. And now we are going to do away with used fridges. Why can't they take the opportunity today to get an assembly plant in this country, the beginning of the industrialization that they are talking about, to industrialize the country, get an assembly plant, and we manufacture the fridges here. Automatically the members who sell the used fridges will become distributors or members of the manufacturing company.
Now, in its bid to avert runway accidents, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority plans to establish a performance-based navigation procedure for all airports in the country. This will see the installation of some satellites that will aid London Air Force at the airports. According to Director General of the authority, Air Commodore retired Kwame Murphy, a South African company has been engaged to undertake the project, expected to be fully operational by the first quarter of next year. And foreign business, shares in Japan Airlines shot up more than 3% in early trade on Wednesday as the once bankrupt company was relisted on the Tokyo Stock Exchange.
The carrier was at 3,905 yen, up 3.03% on the offer price 3 years after it became one of Japan's biggest ever corporate failures. The strong early performance comes after an $8.5 billion offering, the world's second biggest this year after Facebook. Giles' rebirth marked a stunning turnaround for the airline after it crashed into insolvency, owing 2.3 trillion yen or $29 billion in one of the nation's worst corporate meltdowns. The embattled airline continued flying while it went through a rehabilitation process under court protection. Company president Yoshiharu said the current precarious relations between Japan and China, who are embroiled in a worsening spat over disputed territory, would not have too much of an impact on the airline.
So that's it for Business Report. Showbiz is next. Before then, we bring you smart investment and the market figures.
Hello there, good evening. My name is Rashidat Kadiri with the latest in the world of sports, including all the results from the UEFA Champions League matches played just tonight. But before then, striker Eric Bequin has ended speculation over his future by signing for Brecum Chelsea. The 2008 top scorer of the local Premier League inked his signature on a 2-year contract for the 2011 Premier League champions yesterday.
Rumor was rife within the sports media that Eric Bequin had made an outrageous demand from his former employers, the reason for which Kotoko failed to sign him. The Porcupine Warriors were also alleged to have reported that the 25-year-old had a knee injury which could be detrimental to his play in the coming season. However, Bequin, who terminated a contract with Egyptian side Petrojet after a deal was offered him by Asante Kotoko, has cleared the air and ended all speculations.
I was able to bypass a contract worth $400,000 to cancel a contract and come and play for Kotoko. And if a player should come and ask for 24,000 out of 400, I think this shouldn't be a sweat. If they are saying I have a knee problem, I want to question them. On which basis did they realize I have a knee problem? I haven't done an X-ray in Kotoko. I did medicals and you passed me and I went to camp.
The striker believes his new club is a strong force to reckon with and will prove all critics wrong by taking the Premier League by storm.
I have to prove critics wrong, and then secondly I have to show the man appreciation by working so hard for the man to know that the rumor and the speculations and all that, upon all that, the man took the risk to sign me on.
Do you think that Chelsea of Brecum has what it...
Eric Bequin is expected to be a replacement for striker Emmanuel Clottey, who has been sold to defending CAF Champions League winners Esperance Sportive de Tunis.
Still on the issue of Brecum Chelsea, they have appointed former Hartlepool coach Abubakar Yusuf as substantive coach. Dutchman Hans van der Ploem has been elevated to the position of technical director of the former Premier League champions.
Reports reaching Joy Sports said, as part of a massive technical reshuffle for the upcoming season, the former Wasserman coach becomes the head coach, whilst current assistant coach Arno Walker maintains his position. Reassigned coach Plum led the 2011 Ghanaian champions in their debut Champions League campaign, where they failed to progress from the group stage. Brecum Chelsea recorded 2 wins, 3 draws and 1 defeat to finish in 3rd place behind Al Ali and TP Mazembe in Group B. Plum has coached Heart of Lions and Ashanti Gold in the Ghanaian Premier League. He also has international experience after handling Ethiopian side St. George. Coach Abubakar Yusuf led former Ghana Premier side Wasserman relegation campaign last season after placing last but 2 on the league radar with 29 points after 30 matches. Coach Abubakar Yusuf led former Ghana Premier side Wasserman relegation.
Now, the latest results from the UEFA Champions League. At the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea drew 2-2 with Juventus. Shakhtar Donetsk 2, North Zealand 0. Bayern Munich 2, Valencia 1. Lille 1, Bat Borisov 3. Barcelona 2, Spartak Moscow 2. And goals came from Teo and Messi. Messi got a brace for Barcelona. Celtic 0, Benfica 0. Braga 2, CFR Cluj Braga 0, actually, CFR Cluj 2, and then Manchester United 1, Galatasaray 0. That game was played at the Old Trafford, bringing us to the end of the sports bulletin. Coming up next is international news. Good evening.
Unfortunately, we were unable to bring you the Hassan Ayariga interview on the EC's implementation of ROPO, but it's been a brilliant hour already. This has been Joy News at 8. I am Kimini Nyamani Amano. Have a good evening.